Wealthy people do their money reset every single year, and they do this to make sure that they align their money with their vision or with their goals for the new year. So if you want to be wealthy too, copy this money reset strategy so that you walk into 2026 with clarity, with confidence, and in control of your personal finances. Now, doing a reset does not mean you are starting from scratch, because you are not. You are not starting from zero. You are building momentum on a money system that already exists. Doing your reset before 2026 actually allows you to do 4 key things. The first thing is that you are cleaning up your finances. The second thing is you are reviewing your financial strategy. The third thing, you are fixing your money systems. And the fourth thing, you are aligning your money with your goals for 2026. So those 4 things actually allows you to walk into 2026 with so much intention and strategy on how you are going to make sure that your money is working for you in 2026. And this strategy sets you apart from so many people who are not doing it and they are walking blindly in the new year. While you, on the other hand, you are very intentional. You are making 2026 an intentional year for you to make sure that you are good with your money, you have your money systems in place, you have goals, and you are on track when it comes to achieving those goals, and that gives you the confidence, the clarity, and the control that you need when it comes to your personal finances. Here are the components that you need for your money reset. The first component is for you to reflect on your money for 2025. Where did your money go in 2025? And this looks like it's a very simple question, but it's actually not. It's a very deep question that requires you to actually dig into your finances. You will need 2 key documents. You need your budget for 2025. What has been your budget from January up to now? For each month, wherever you were recording your budget, what was the budget? Then you also look at your bank statements. From January up to now, how do your bank statements look like? Spend about an hour or more of your time actually reviewing and auditing your bank statements together with your budget. What did you budget? What did you spend for each month up to date? And you will be able to have a clear vision of where did your money go? Which was your highest spending month? Which was your lowest spending month? When you have overspent in a certain month, where did you get money to cover the shortfall in that month? And when you have underspent, where have you redirected that money that you have underspent? For instance, if you underspent with a 3,000, have you redirected that 3,000 elsewhere within your money goals or within your money system? Or has that money just gotten lost within your budget? Those are the things that you will see when you audit your finances for the year. And talking about auditing, you also want to look at your different spending categories. Maybe you have 5 categories like me, where I have my needs, I have my wants, I have my savings and investments, I have my giving, and then I have my personal development, and of course, also a bit of fun in there. So how did you spend under each of these? How much of your money went to your needs? How much went to your wants? How much went to your personal development? How much went to your savings and investments? Then you can also see, am I actually allocating the largest chunk of my money to the area of my life that is most important to me, or which is my main priority? Did the money go to the things that really meant something to you? Or is you spending money on things that you did not care about, but because you were able to swipe your card, you just kept on spending? Because doing this review and this audit also allows you to see what are your money leaks. Look at your bank statements. What are your 3 main money leaks within your budget or within your statement? Where did that money go? For instance, maybe you have a problem of eating out too much. Maybe a lot of your money went to that money leak where you were eating out way too much. How do you plan on mitigating that in 2026? How will you tackle that? Are you going to completely eliminate eating out, which is not always possible for most people? Or are you going to say you are cutting down? Instead of eating out 4 times a week, maybe now you do it once a week in 2026? Or are you going to change places? Maybe you used to frequent places that are a bit more expensive, and now you want to look at places that are much cheaper, so that instead of you maybe spending a 4,000 a month on eating out, maybe you reduce that to 1,000. So look look at your 3 key money leaks and come up with countermeasures for 2026. How are you going to fix it? How are you going to deal with those? Maybe another money leak for you, if you are a gentleman, maybe you give money to women. It's just a habit where you meet someone, you like them, and then you start showering them with gifts and giving them money. How are you going to mitigate that in 2026? Are you maybe going to make sure that you get your game right? That you are able to speak to ladies and entertain ladies without necessarily spending so much money? Is it maybe a self-confidence issue and you need to work on your self-confidence? Look at ways on how you can mitigate that. Or maybe you are a beautiful lady and you are buying way too many beauty products. How are you going to reduce that in 2026? Because that is a big money leak. You don't need 50, 40, whatever number of products for you to use, especially for your face, is where most people are overspending. You don't need all of those things. Sometimes you only need 3 key products that have the key ingredients that you need for your skin type or for your skin condition or whatever issue you are battling with when it comes to your skin. You do not necessarily need to have 3 moisturizers and 10 whatevers and this and this and that. Most of the time you need only a few things. So how do you cut on that habit? Are you perhaps going to go to a dermatologist so that they can look at your skin and actually recommend what you actually need? Then you eliminate all the other things that you were buying? Or how will you deal with that area where the money is leaking out of your budget? Doing this review or doing this audit of your finances, it will show you how you spend money on certain things in proportion to your income. Let's say, for instance, your income is 15,000 a month. That is your take home. Ne? Now, you don't carry lunch with you to work, and every day you are spending a 50 rand or a 50 Namibia dollars, and you are buying lunch every single day. Now, if you are doing that trend on a monthly basis, you are looking at spending 1,500, and by the end of the year you are actually at 18,000. Now think about that. Your salary that you take home monthly is a 15,000, yet overall for the year you have spent more than your 1 month's salary on you having lunch at work. So you went to work for a full month just for you to finance your lunch to work. Does that reflect the type of person that you want to be? Does that reflect your money priorities? Is that something that you want to carry on doing, or do you want to make changes? And those kind of realizations is actually what makes you get better with your money, because now you realize this is actually the true picture of my finances. This is really where my money is going, and I am not happy with this area and that area and that area, and I would like to make this change and that change and that change. And that is how we grow, and that is how we get better with our money. Because if you do not know what is going on, it's hidden there in your bank account, you don't even take out the statement or go through online or whatever, then you will not know what is happening. And sometimes, guys, banks are also overcharging us for unnecessary things. They are just these little amounts, fees or charges or whatever, that are just going off our accounts, and because you don't actually go through every month to check what is going on, you will not know. Maybe a 300 or a 500 just disappeared through these charges that you don't even know about. And once you figure that out, you can actually go to the bank and query them and say, look guys, I see this and this and this and this. What are these things for? I already pay for my service fees, I pay for my SMSs, I pay for this and that. Why am I being charged this? What was this for? And they might be able to reimburse you for those things, or at least explain to you what those things are about, so that you have a better understanding. When you see it next time, you know the reason for the charge or for that fee. After you have done your audit, the second component of your money reset is to reset your accounts. Here you want to build a money flow or a money system that actually functions like a very well-oiled machine, and you want everything to be automated so that you remove the human factor out of it and you have this thing running on autopilot. One of the things that we need to understand is that if your accounts are chaotic, you will have chaotic finances. You will have a chaotic situation when it comes to your money. So you want to fix the different accounts that you need. And remember the video that I did on 5 accounts that you need? Consider those accounts. You want an everyday account, and that is the account where you are paying your bills and most of the transactions are happening, and that is also where your income is coming to you. Then from that account you channel money to the other accounts that you need in your money system. Your second account is your emergency fund account. This is where you put 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, where you are saying this money I'm putting it aside. When I have financial emergencies, this is where I draw money to fix those problems. So that is your emergency fund account. Then you need a sinking fund account. And in the sinking fund account is actually where you put money for your short-term savings goals. If you are buying a car, it's where you put your deposit for the car. Or it's where you also put your deposit for a home. Or it's where you put money for a holiday. It's where you put money for your December spending. Remember we spoke about December spending in a previous video. So this is your sinking fund where you are putting all your short-term goals money. You put it in there and you have an allocation for each goal, and you know that even though my money is in one pot, maybe the whole pot has 100,000, you know in that 100,000 I have a 2,000 for this, I have a 20,000 for that, I have a 50,000 for this and this and this. You have your allocation. Maybe you have a budget sheet or a sheet where you are recording your sinking fund, and as the goals are going and you are spending the money and you are ticking it off, then you remove that from your sinking fund list or budget or whatever document you use to manage that. Then the other account that you need is your savings and investment account, and this is one of your key most important account, because with this account is where you are sending money from your everyday account for you to be able to buy assets that has potential to grow and bring you returns in the future. So this is where you are buying, for instance, you are buying your stocks, you are buying your ETFs, you are buying your index funds, and these assets have potential to actually go up, and you can benefit from dividends, you can benefit from the price going up, and one day when you sell, you can sell these investments at a higher price. Then your last account under your 5 account, it's your opportunity fund account. And under this account is where you are sending money to say, if an opportunity comes up tomorrow, I have an amount of money that I can use to grab that opportunity or to partake in that opportunity. So for instance, maybe it's a business opportunity where you are investing in a business, or maybe a project comes up, your friends calls you and say there's this project and it's a once-off thing. If you put in this for us to buy the materials, you get back that. Then you can take advantage of such opportunities. Or it can even be money that saves you from a toxic work environment, from a toxic boss, or from a job that really just drains you and it does not make you happy. And like I said, automate, automate, automate. The best way to run a tight ship when it comes to your money system is to automate. Money from your income, wherever your income comes from, whether it's a salary, it's you paying yourself from your company, or it's an allowance, or it's a stipend, or it's whatever, that money comes into your everyday account. And then from your everyday account, you automate now to the other 4 accounts. And within your investment account, I also want you to automate. Maybe you have only one global ETF, money lands in, 100% of it is allocated to that global ETF. Or maybe you have 2 ETFs, a global one and a local one. Maybe you do a 60-40 split or a 50-50 split depending on your needs and your goals. Then it's automatically done within the account. Or maybe you have 3 ETFs. Maybe you have a global one, a local one, and a sector ETF. Again, that automation is made once the money lands in that investment account. And that way, you will not say, I have forgotten. You will not say, this month was bad, I have not gotten to it. You will not say, I needed to use the money for something else, because your system is already set up that you have no access to those funds. The funds are directed exactly where the funds needs to go. The third component of our money reset strategy is to declutter your debts and subscriptions. Debt is not something that you want to keep having if you want to build wealth, especially high interest debt. You want to get rid of high interest debt so that your focus can be your income going towards your savings and your investments, so that you can build your wealth and you can have the life and the future that you have always wanted. So if you have debt currently, list all your debt. Have a clear picture of what is going on when it comes to your debt. Who do you owe? How much do you owe? What is the current balance? What is the minimum payment? What is the interest? Have a very good picture of what is going on when it comes to your debt. Maybe you have 3 debts. Maybe you only have 1. Maybe you have 5. Hopefully you don't have more than that. But really, list them, put down all that information so that you can have a better picture of what exactly is going on when it comes to your debts. Then once you have done that, now you come up with a payment method. And you can choose the debt snowball method, which is good for motivation. If you are somebody who requires a high level of motivation for you to be able to do something, choose the debt snowball method, where you are paying off the smallest debt and then you move to the next smallest, to the next smallest until you are done. But at the same time, you are maintaining minimum payments on all your other debts that you owe. Or if you are somebody who is more into saving, like myself, if I had debt, I would actually use the avalanche method. And with the avalanche method, you want to tackle the debt with the highest interest first, then you move on to the next and the next and the next until you are done. And also here, you are maintaining minimum payments on all your other debts while you are tackling that first one that you are putting all your additional money to. So for motivation, it's best to use the snowball method. But if for you to save on interest, you want to use the avalanche method. You know yourself best. You know which one will actually work out for you. So pick one, stick to it, and give it your all. And once you made a plan for your debts, you can now declutter your subscriptions. A lot of people have just way too many subscriptions than they need. Cut and only keep the necessities. Only keep the ones that you know you really need these ones to function, or maybe you really need this one to work. Sometimes there is work that requires you to have subscriptions, but the rest you can get rid of. Also, you can consider downgrading your plan. You don't always need the highest plan under that subscription. You can have the entry level one or the mid-level one, whichever he can still allow you to do what you need to do. You don't always need to pay the maximum for a subscription. So consider getting rid of some of them, and also consider downgrading some that you need to keep, so that you don't have to spend so much money on subscriptions. Component number 4 is for you to rebuild, or maybe build if you don't already have one, your safety net and set your financial goals. When it comes to your safety net, we are talking about your emergency fund. If you do not already have an emergency fund, consider starting your emergency fund immediately after listening to this video. And you want to have a starter emergency fund. If you cannot already do the recommended, which is 3 months to 6 months of your living expenses, you can even start with a 1,000 or with a 3,000, and you can build up as you go. Rome was not built in one day, and no one is expecting you to have a fully funded emergency fund in one day or in 1 month. You can build up, allocate a certain portion of your income towards building your emergency fund, and have a target. Are you doing the minimum, which is 3 months of your living expenses, or are you doing the 6 months, or are you going beyond that? Because if you know your life circumstances and you know you need more of a runway, you can do more than 6 months. Or maybe you are self-employed, you work for yourself, you need to have more than 6 months, because you know business is unpredictable and you don't have a reliance of a salary or that security of a salary that you know you are sorted. So you can do more than 6 months. That money for your emergencies is a lifesaver, because when life really happens, and life does happen, you know that you are covered. You know that you are not running to a credit card, you are not running to an overdraft, you are not running to a cash loan, you are not running to these gambling people and things like that. You know you have made provision and you feel safe in that safety net, and that is why it's called a safety net, and you know it will cover your emergencies. And remember, your emergency fund is not a replacement for insurance. You must still have your insurance. The emergency fund is not for the things that you are supposed to cover for insurance. So still have your insurance for yourself, which is your biggest asset, for your vehicle, for your home, for your business, if you have equipment, all of those things need to be covered. So do not replace insurance with your emergency fund. Otherwise, your emergency fund will never be enough. Now that you have sorted out your safety net, you can now set your financial goals for 2026. What do you want your money to do for you in 2026? How do you want your money to work for you? What jobs are you giving your money? Then you can now set targets. Firstly, you must set targets for your income. How much money do you want to earn in 2026? How much is coming from your salary? How much is coming from your overtime? How much is coming from your travels and all of that? Any other perks that you have at work that can bring in additional income? How much is the target that you are setting for yourself? And what are your targets for your savings and for your investments? How much are you putting towards traveling for next year? How much are you putting towards looking good and feeling fresh and all that has to do with how you look and how you present yourself to the world? How much money are you planning to spend on self-development? Are you going to do a course? How much is that course? How much money do you want to put in your investments? By what amount do you want to grow, or by what percentage do you want to grow your investments? Figure out where you want your money to go in 2026 and allocate specific amounts to that. For instance, you can say for local travel, maybe you are allocating a 12,000 for local travel. And then maybe for international travel, you are allocating a 50K. Then maybe you are allocating a 10K for a short course that you want to do with as a 10 institution or university or whatever. Then maybe you are also allocating money to say, okay, I am allocating a 4,000 in 2026 for me to spend that money on looking good. There is nothing wrong with doing that. So set your targets, set your money, what do you want to do? And you allocate, you put those amounts, and you know that for all my goals or all the things where I want my money to go, this is the overall amount that I'm looking at. And when I look at my income, this is what I have, and I'll be able to fund this within that. So really set those goals for yourself. Because when you give your goals targets in terms of how much money, you are very specific on what the goal is, how much money, by when do you want to achieve it. Maybe like your local holiday fund. Maybe you want to already have a 6,000 by March so that you are able to still visit the lodges before the rainy season is over. So those are some of the things that you look at. What are you targeting? By when should you have how much of that goal in place? So look at that and really focus your money to make sure that your money is working very hard for you in 2026. After making sure that your base is strong, because of your safety net that you set up and your money goals, you can now look at how do you increase your wealth in 2026? How do you grow your wealth? And this again goes back to, we can only save and invest as much as we earn. So our main target here should be earning more money. How will you earn more money in 2026? Are you perhaps up for a promotion at work? Are you perhaps having some other perks that are coming up? Are you having projects that are coming up that maybe allows you to get allowances for travel or allowances for working overtime or whatever it is? How are you earning more money from your job in 2026? And if your job is not allowing you much of a room to earn more, how are you going to earn more from outside of your job? Are you going to start a business? Are you going to start a side hustle? Are you going to buy some items that you are going to be leasing out to other people to use while you are at your main job or you are at work? How will you make more money in 2026? It's really something that every person needs to think about, because you can only save and invest as much as you are making. If you are not making more, you will not be able to save and invest more. Even if you cut your life to the bone, you will still save within whatever it is that you are making. And have a target for your side income or your side hustles. By how much or what percentage of your income do you want the side hustle to cover? Maybe you are saying, I'm entering into this rental business where I'm renting out certain items or equipment to others, maybe people who have events or whatever, and I want this side hustle to bring in 20% of my current income. So I want to increase my current income by 20%, and that 20% will be covered from this and that and that, and this is how I am going to make this money. And under this component is also where you want to track your net worth. Maybe let me ask you right now, do you know your net worth? Do you know how much you are worth as a person, as an individual? And I'm not talking about your business if you're a business owner. I'm talking about you in your individual capacity. What is your net worth? And if you don't know your net worth, after watching this video, calculate your net worth. List all the things that you own, and then you list all the things that you owe, and then you remove the things that you owe from what you own, then you get your net worth. What you get, whether it's positive or negative, that is your net worth. Hopefully it's positive, but even if it's not positive, it's actually a good motivator for you to work hard so that you can turn that negative into a positive. And even if your net worth is only a 10,000 or a 20,000, that is fine. That is a win. You can grow and improve on that. You can now set a target to say, for 2026, I want to move my net worth from 80,000, for example, to 120,000. And that is an increase of 50%. 50%. And if you have your income goals well in place and you know that you will be able to make money from this and this and that, then you know that that increase of 50% in net worth, you have it covered with the plans that you have for your income. So it is important every quarter of the year for you to review your net worth and to track your net worth. It's a great motivator when it comes to building wealth, because you know last quarter I was maybe at a 80,000 as net worth, then the next quarter maybe I'm at 100, the other quarter maybe I'm at 120. You just keep going up and going up and going up. And if you are getting rid of debt, if you have debt, then your net worth will keep going up and going up. Sometimes we do not have an income problem. Sometimes we just have a money management problem. And once we clean up our finances and we really strategize and reprioritize and redirect our money, we will be in a better position. And sometimes we actually realize that you are worth more than you thought. Why? Because your money was hidden in debt, it was hidden in subscriptions, it was hidden in useless spending that you were doing every single day or every single week. And once you clean up those things, you actually realize, oh my goodness, I'm actually a wealthy person, or I'm actually not doing bad like I thought I was. So once you clear up your finances and you really prioritize, you'll be able to see that, no man, I actually have more than I thought I have. Guys, if you hear any noises in the background, there is construction nearby. There is nothing much I can do about it at this point. And talking about cleaning up our finances, some of you are due for a bonus either this month or next month. When you get your bonus, please don't go partying with your entire bonus. At least allocate some of it to your savings and investments. Allocate some of it to your money goals. Allocate some of it to debt repayment if you have debt. Then you can now allocate yourself a smaller portion of that money for you to now go and have fun and go shopping and go enjoy yourself. But at least you have taken care of some of your important things and your financial future before you actually go and enjoy that money. And if you need a guide on what financial milestones you actually need to consider hitting when you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s and 50s, I have done a video on that. I'll link it up here so that you can actually have a look at what are the priorities when it comes to milestones for the different age groups, and you can look at your specific age group and see what you can take from there and what you are already doing, and that way you can actually even improve your finances better before you reach 2026. So to recap, you want to follow the wealthy people. Wealthy people do their money resets every single year, and because you also want to be wealthy, you are also going to be doing your reset every single year from now on. And for this year, we are resetting now. This week already, take time and start taking stock of what has happened with your money from January up to now, so that when you step into 2026, you know exactly what happened to your money, you know what is happening with your accounts, you have money goals, you have debt repayment plans, and you are really looking at what do you want your money to do for you in 2026. You are assigning your money already a job for 2026, and you are already building your systems on how you are going to manage all of that for 2026. So don't skip this reset. Take time, just one day of the week, a few hours, maybe you allocate 1 or 2, 3 hours, and you do your reset. And believe me, next year you can tell me how things are running smoothly because you have done your reset prior to you entering the new year. Don't wait for January. Like I said in my previous video, January is not the best time to do important things. Do the important things already now before you go for the holidays and you go wild and you go enjoy yourself. Make sure first you do your reset so that come January, you already have a plan, your things are already in place, and things just start running smoothly for you. You walk into 2026 with confidence, you have clarity, and you are intentional. Make 2026 so intentional when it comes to your money that you have no reason to fail, and your chances of succeeding are much, much higher. In that way, you are already doing so much better, and you will be able to reach your financial freedom. If you have a financial freedom as a goal like some of us, you are really going to do well and contribute so much towards you reaching your financial freedom number. In the next video, I'll talk about moves that you can make to build wealth in 2026. So if you are not already part of our growing family of 1,500 subscribers, I still can't believe that there is 1,500 of you who are following the content and you are finding it valuable. Thank you for the support, and I hope that you are learning something from the channel and you are also implementing the things that you are learning from the channel. So if you are not already part of our family, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you do not miss out on the next video where I talk about how we can build wealth in 2026. Until next time, my name is Les, and here is to achieving financial freedom together, and I will see you in this video.